All right, so I wanted to take a minute to talk about the Confederate flag. Anybody that knows me, that knew me when I was a teenager, knows that I was like pretty much a self-proclaimed redneck. Like, if you're old enough to know what AIM or AIM, AOL Instant Messenger is, my screen name on there was Lil Redneck 42. I was at the Sonic with all the guys in our jacked up trucks. I was going mudding, hunting, fishing, all that stuff. And I still do. Like, I still love to go off-road and hunt and fish and all those things that are like equated with, a southern boy or a redneck or whatever you want to call it. The only thing that I changed was that back then I used to associate with the Confederate flag, the rebel flag, and now I don't. And I want to say why I don't anymore. So, when I was younger, I bought into the idea that it was about heritage, not hate. And I think that it's possible that, a lot of people that still fly the flag today are, associating with their Southern pride instead of like racism or something like that. Like, they don't, there probably are plenty of people that fly the flag because they love the fact that it has been used as a racist symbol. But I think that there are also a lot of Southern people that they fly the flag and they wear the flag because to them it represents some type of like a message of Southern pride. So basically, like, that's what I saw it as when I was younger. But as I grew up and I was, I experienced the world around me. I listened to other people's perspectives, and I also got educated in criminal justice. In getting my bachelor's degree in criminal justice, I learned a lot of the terrible things that the criminal justice system and the American people in general have done to Black Americans. And you can pretty much find a Confederate flag in almost any picture of racial terrorism against Black people in America, especially when you look at the KKK. So I guess basically what happened was I decided that although I never used it as a racial symbol, even though I thought it was just about Southern pride, I had to start thinking about, like, what do my fellow Americans, what do my brothers and sisters look at it as? And I mean, a lot of people, when they see it, they don't think about Southern pride and like going fishing or like, any of that kind of stuff. They first off, they think about the Civil War and about the fact that the South fought to keep slavery. And if you want to have an argument about what the Civil War is about, like, that's a whole other discussion. But at the end of the day, it was about slavery. So anyways, that's the first thing that comes to mind is slavery. But then even after the war, like well after the war, the Klan wears the Confederate flag on their hoods, on their gowns. They fly it over lynchings, like public lynchings of thousands of Black people. That's what a lot of America, most of America sees. Like, so is our, or your at this point, because I don't associate it with it anymore, is your, like, whatever small sense of Southern pride that you get from wearing the flag, is that more important to you than the anguish and like pain and re-victimization that Black people feel when they see the flag? Like, so I guess ultimately it's just about being compassionate and understanding and like trying to put yourself in somebody else's shoes. So anyways, that's why I don't associate it with it anymore. And I think, most of the United States at this point doesn't, even NASCAR at this point. I mean, the Marine Corps and other military branches are banning it, which I don't understand why they didn't ban it a long time ago, because from a military or an American government standpoint, like, that is a flag of treason, So that would be like Britain flying the American flag for something, like, it doesn't make any sense. But yeah, I think the fact that even NASCAR has jumped on board now just tells you, like, most Americans. I don't need to have this conversation with most of the United States. It's just that, you know, for the ones that still are clinging to it and they're pissed off and they're melting because it's being banned everywhere, try to think about it from my perspective as somebody who grew up in the South, who wore the flag growing up, who bought into that idea of like Southern pride or whatever. It's not, you know, whatever Southern heritage that you have, you can keep that and continue to have that without that flag, because that flag brings hate and anguish and pain and fear to other Americans. So anyways, that's all I got to say about that.